Is your plan just to help as much as you can till training camp starts, and then you're like, hey, sorry?
Yeah, I kind of feel useless. Like I get home like around 3. I get there and she's already asleep, so I'm like, I mean, you want me to hold her? Like, what? She's like, I got everything. I'm like, okay. Come time, bedtime, like, you need me to? She's like, no, I'm good. I'm like, okay. I go to work, same thing. It's like on repeat. So, but it's cool. She's awesome.
Has it changed anything in terms of the way you go about practicing, managing your schedule, or is it kind of the same plus a baby?
Yeah, for the most part, it's been kind of the same, just plus the baby. I was saying we had great timing because OTAs, like time management wise, isn't as demanding, and so it's been awesome just to get back in the flow of things, and then not have to stress too much about not being there enough for her and being supportive, and especially because we don't really have anyone helping us or helping her out at home. So it's been good though. Like the shorter days help a lot. Less meeting time. Obviously you're not out there very long anyway, so it's been good.
The secondary is going to look different. We lost TJ last year, now Talib's gone. What about this makes you think you guys can still play at a high level, and then you add Cravens into that mix too? What is it when people think they've kind of joked that the no-fly zone doesn't exist anymore?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously Akib and TJ were huge catalysts, a part of the no-fly zone, and obviously that Super Bowl run, and going back to back, and number one passing defense. I mean, there's no replacing someone like TJ and Akib, but Chris, Roby, and Stu were also there, a part of that run. They know what standard that is to uphold as far as the no-fly zone goes. So obviously there's been talks about with TJ and Lee being gone, about the no-fly zone kind of disbanding and it being gone. And I'm not here to say it's here or it's left, but I know the standard of the no-fly zone is staying, because we expect nothing less than that standard that they have set. So you call it what you want, no-fly zone 2.0, no-fly zone, or call it something totally different, but that standard, that mindset still stays the same.
Isaac Yaddo said that BC you're referred to as the GOAT, the God, and
Oh gosh,
the perfect man. What do you think of that?
Wow. Yeah, those. I would say all 3 of those are probably false, especially the last 2. But the guys at BC were great. I mean, Isaac was great. We just built a brotherhood there. Much like the guys here have built, over the past couple of years. And so, I mean, it's awesome that he looks at me in that aspect, and that's cool. But I definitely wouldn't back up those responses saying that those are 100% accurate. But it's definitely awesome, man. Love Ike.
What have you seen from him so far?
I think he's doing all right. He's getting a lot of 2s and 3 reps. So I haven't, when I come off to the sideline, I'm talking to the other guys about adjustments we need to make and things like that. So I haven't seen a bunch. And we meet separately, corners and safeties at times. And so haven't really seen like a lot, but I've talked to him a few times, asked him how he's doing, how he's picking up the schemes of the defense and things in that nature. And all that's super helpful for him, because obviously we have the same lingo, coming from BC. And so he'd be able to adapt easier just asking questions and figuring out from that standpoint. But as far as I know, he's doing pretty well.
How will you be better?
Personally, we're having a good year last year, and then you had that fluky injury. How frustrating was it to miss the last 3 games, and any adjustments to celebrations for you in light of what happened?
Yeah, no celebrating period. That's definitely taken out of the the playbook. But as far as being frustrated goes, it was definitely frustrating. And I think the most frustrating part was I could have played, but just due to the circumstances of the season not going the way we wanted it to, and just finding, just letting other guys get in there and see what we had, as far as like backups and other guys getting some playing time for the future. That's what it came down to. And so for me, it was frustrating because it was a quick turnaround to go to Indy on that Thursday for the Color Rush game, but I think for sure I could have played. I think it was that next Sunday against Washington. I felt fine. Obviously not 100%, but if that was a playoff game, I would have been okay when I went in and played. And so that was the most frustrating part, was I know I could have played, but just due to the circumstances of the season not going the way we wanted it to, we felt it was in my best interest just to make sure you heal properly, and just get ready for year 3 and to do bigger and better things.
Why will you be better this year as a knowing going in that you're the starter and in self-evaluation? What makes you believe like, hey, I can just keep going upward, being better?
Yeah, well, there's always room for improvement. I mean, that's the cliche saying, but it's so true. So year 3, I mean, that's really the year things are supposed to click, and so I feel comfortable. And once again, it's not like I'm taking a hold 100% of the secondary. I still have Stu, I still have Chris, I still have Roby. And so although I am taking a bigger leadership role, I still have those guys to lean on and to ask questions about. And I still have so much knowledge in that back end that I can attain anytime I want. And so those guys make my job, so much easier. And, playing with guys up front like Vaughn, Chubb, Shane, Shaq, guys that get after the Wolf, guys that get after the pass rush too, make my job easier. And so, this defense is going to be great again, and we expect, greatness, and we expect to compete for that number 1 defensive spot and to earn that spot. And so, just like I said, I'm just looking forward to year 3, man. I know I can contribute big time.
OTAs are different meaning for different players, various meanings for different players. What does this voluntary work at this time of year mean to you?
Yeah, OTAs definitely has different meanings for different players, like you said. I think personally, it still means something. OTAs, you're still out there, you're still making your checks, you're still making the plays. But it's nowhere near the level of, I think, emphasis and intensity as like training camp is, and especially when you're hosting a team or you're being hosted. Just the level of intensity. I mean, you're more comfortable here because you're going against, the familiar face every single day. Come time training camp, you're getting real looks from different teams. You have preseason games, and so things start flying by, and you really have to start game plan adjusting. Like right now, you're just out here, going through your plays, installing. Come time training camp and stuff like that is really when, you see when guys either get it or don't. And so OTAs is great. It's no knock on OTAs. I mean, you can definitely tell when a guy is a player or not in OTAs, but training camp's the real deal.
Obviously, you're on the other side of the bubble. What have you seen from the offense in case camp?
Yeah, I always say I'm not, I'm no quarterback's coach, but just from what I've seen, I mean, he looks comfortable. The guys have already rallied around him. I know he talked about saying he wanted to come in and earn that leadership spot, and I'm not speaking for him or for anyone on the offensive side, but I feel like he's definitely earning it, and if not, has earned it, day by day already just in OTAs. I mean, he's taken, full steam of the offense and really getting them going, and he looks good. He's starting to look a little comfortable. So I'm just, like I said, on top of that and how I feel about our defense, I'm just excited for the season. I can't wait till it gets here.
What has stuck out about Hamilton and Sutton so far when you've seen them out there as young guys?
Yeah, they both seem really poised as rookies. I mean, I think they've been out there a few times with the ones, and they just seem poised. They seem like they know their playbook really well. Sutton, he's made a couple 50-50 balls look easy. So he's definitely a special talent. Going up and high pointing the football, which is great. And I think they're going to contribute big time. So, hopefully that just continues and they just continue to grow throughout, the rest of OTAs, training camp, and then going on to the season.
Last one for me.
How's it having Sue back there? What do you see?
Yeah, Sue's been awesome. I think, bringing in Sue, he just gives us another level of our defense that we can just, totally explore into. I mean, he gives us so much more versatility and mobility, both at safety and if we put him at like our dime and nickel packages. And so he's also another smart safety too. I mean, he already is picking up the defense, knows it well, is making his checks. And so Sue already just in, I don't even know what week this is in OTAs, but already has seemed like he's been a day one guy. He's been here since all of last year. So really excited to have him, and like I said, another part of the defense that just make us that much better.